The way she licking on me, playing games.
Yo, I'm AK the Don. This is Don Talk Podcast. I'm here with my guy Vaz, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to mispronounce it, cause like reading your IG name, I was like, damn, like I don't know how to say it, but I don't want to mispronounce it, you know. But word. So promoter is it for Boston? Like, do you promote shows like in Boston? I know not right now, but like before pandemic and everything, like it was mostly in Boston.
So I throw my own shows.
Mhm.
So I throw them depends on different venues, but it's mostly in Massachusetts, Boston, Lawrence, Lowell.
Mhm.
But right now I'm doing some events in New Hampshire as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Since the pandemic hit and there are no venues open in Mass.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how long would you say you've been throwing your own shows?
So I've been in the US for 2 years and a half now. So
Mhm.
I would say probably for like a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Albania.
Albania.
Yeah, Southeastern Europe.
Okay. That's different, man. And yeah, I mean you've been doing it so successfully, but what kind of got you like what was the cause of you starting?
So I've always been a promoter, let's say. Like I always used to throw my shows,
Mm-hmm.
even back when I was in Albania. So when I finished high school, I used to throw shows in my own town and then in city and stuff. And then when I moved here, I didn't want that to stop, so I just continued doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was really hard because I didn't know anyone when I got here.
Right.
So, but I had a following on my Instagram, so that kind of helped me build more connections and
Mhm.
relationship with artists.
Okay.
So,
So how do you get in contact with the artists? Like, do you? I don't know if you have to reach out to them or they reach out to you. Like, if they're trying to do a show and it's in a certain area or something.
so if I'm trying to book someone else like that has buzz and like has a big name, I need to reach out to the manager to book a date for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But for local artists, they usually hit me up like now if they want to perform in different shows, depending on which artist it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if I really like see somebody like really talented, I'll hit them up and
Yeah.
be like if they are interested in this show.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And like, what makes a good promoter? Like, what's something that you should kind of, or like maybe like a couple tips and tricks. Like, what are your go-to? Like, what's the baseline?
But the most important thing is the connections. So
Mhm.
mostly with local artists, depending on which area. So the more connections I made with artists, the better it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I have a show, then they are gonna be the people who are gonna bring the people in the venue.
Right.
So when they are performing, they will post flyers and they will let people know. And also the relationship with like the other promoters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the more connections, the better.
Right.
And you should support other people, because when it's your time and when you have your own event, then they will support you
Exactly.
like you support them. Because most of the people they just want support, but then they don't show support back. So it has to
Exactly.
be both ways.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite show that you've thrown, like with I mean, I guess that's the question. Do you have like a favorite show that you've thrown since you started?
I would say the Lil Baby show in
Mhm.
2019.
Okay.
That was really good because it was the time when Lil Baby was starting to pop. So
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited about that show and the Megan Thee Stallion show too.
Okay.
Last year, 2 years ago. But every show has been really good.
Right. I don't really know the process. I mean, you kind of explained it, like you reach out to them, but is there a specific part of like reaching out to people that you don't like, or like choosing people? Is there anything that you don't like about, or I'll ask this: is there anything you don't like about being a promoter?
I think it depends like how you make it, but sometimes what I don't like is reaching to an agreement between the promoter and the artist, or the promoter and the manager of the artist, because you have to like come to a deal, because you gotta go back and forth sometimes to set a good deal for the venue, for the price and all that. So I'm trying to have as much understanding as possible, so the show can go on.
Right. So you want to have, you know, you like you said, like you want to have that understanding, but you know, still be able to, one, make a good profit for yourself, the venue, and the artist as well, right?
Yeah, and like especially right now in this pandemic and with like limited capacity and stuff, you gotta, you know, like talk with the manager and like really like, you know, tell him all the situation. And that's what I don't like sometimes, because people won't understand the situation and like the how Massachusetts, let's say, clubs are, or like New Hampshire are like small, especially right now, because they compare them to, you know, Atlanta, Texas, which is kind of different here. The scene is different, so
right,
depends on the crowd as well. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta know how to talk with people and build that relationship before they can do the show.
Right. So what are some of the venues that, you know, you typically, like in Massachusetts, I guess, that you've kind of like thrown shows at and you were like, oh, like I like this spot, like I would come here again, or like host another one?
I've done in the Strand, which is really big for like concerts. I've done in Central nightclub, which is in Lawrence.
Okay.
And now I'm doing them in Jewel Music Venue, which is in Manchester.
Right. Okay.
But it's usually Central because it's a really big venue.
Oh, okay. So
has a really big capacity and a really nice nightclub. So.
Word. So how do you feel regarding like the Boston scene? So I mean, you kind of touched on it. It wasn't really specific to Boston, but like just in terms of, you know, supporting others, like how do you see it?
In the aspect of as a promoter, or like
like as a promoter, yeah.
So as a promoter, like I would say the artists don't really like support each other. There are some who support their own homies, you know, but some artists, they just want the support, but they don't show the same support to other people, or they have some buzz and they expect everyone to post them. But when somebody needs their help, they're like, oh, you know. So, but like as a promoter, like I try to support when I see really talent, but sometimes I really keep it like on the business side, because I'm not trying to mix the business with like a friendship that I can have with somebody. But when I really like see somebody that has like really a nice song that I really vibe to, like I'll show support without even knowing them. I'll share it on my Instagram.
Okay. Do you have a reason for like throwing shows? I mean, you may have touched on it earlier, but I know you said like what got you into it, but is there a reason why, you know, you host? So
like as I said, like from high school, like I really liked the party scene, the clubs. So because in Albania is different, like you can go to a club even if you aren't 18 or like, so I used to be there when I was like 14, 15. Because here there is like a age limit, but in Europe it's kind of different. But yeah, I've always been around like clubs, so I've always liked that environment and connecting with artists. So I do it for that, but also for the money and all that too. So it's both, but I've always loved music, and I'm trying to get into music myself now too, that I have some connections. So I'm trying to have everything, you know, like linked to each other, the promotion, the music, the connections, everything come to place. So when you do make that transition, or, you know, start with that, would you continue throwing your own shows, or like do you feel like, you know, you would want someone else to kind of help you out with that? Yes, I would continue doing my own shows, because I feel like that's a really important part to the music. So if I can do both, why not? Because the show is gonna support with the music too. So like if I'm bringing somebody out, then they will check my music, and we can vibe in the studio, or like make a feature, you know, and stuff like that. So that will really help and expand the connections as well, especially with a big artist. Like you need people like that to support your music, especially when you begin with the process. Okay. So